I'm honestly gonna say I prefer Marvel, even though I'm not that big of a Marvel fan anymore. I used to be, but not anymore. Now these days, I'm just not a big fan of Marvel. I just don't like Marvel movies. The only Marvel movies I can actually tolerate or really like watching are the Venom movies and the Incredible Hulk movie that came out, I think in 2008 or 2009. I can't remember. So, yeah. Those are the only Marvel movies that I like watching. DC, they kind of suck. And, yeah. The only real time I'll become interested of giving DC any attention is, well, when they're doing a crossover with a franchise that I like. Like, for example, the Justice League and Ruby crossovers. I became interested in the Justice League and Ruby crossovers because, well, it had Ruby in it. The same thing went with Godzilla and versus Kong. They did the same thing. So those were the only real times I started to pay attention to DC. And other times, no. If they do more crossovers with my favorite franchises, then I will pay attention. It's not a whole lot. Can you tell us about the stories of MLP and Godzilla that you had planned on doing before you stopped becoming an MLP fan? I'm not gonna go into details. Maybe I'll do it in a future video if you guys want. I'll go on ahead and tell you a little bit about them. The first one was actually going to be a remake of Godzilla and Twilight Sparkle, a love story, but with some major differences. As Princess Twilight will still be in Equestria, and the Godzilla characters will not have been banished to the human world. Because, well, I'm not going to have on, like, my favorite kaiju be getting their ass kicked by a simple pony or an alicorn. Or just, no, I'm not going to do that. And of course, I'm not going to have the MLP characters try to become friends with the kaiju villains. Because they're just flat out villains, and as a result, well, they're not interested. That, and I was possibly thinking about adding Sunset Shimmer to basically stay in Equestria because she encounters a human version of herself back in the human world. As for number 2, it was basically going to be something similar to The Bridge, where the kaiju characters end up in Equestria. But at that time, I had no idea who was going to be the main villain. I was trying to decide on rather Destroya, King Ghidorah, or Space Godzilla. I was trying to decide on if one of them was going to become the main villain. At that time, I had no idea who Bagan was, let alone heard of the character. So, the third story was going to be a bit of a mix between both the Equestria girls and basically The Bridge, where the kaiju characters end up in Equestria, and at the same time, some of the other kaijus end up in the human world, where the human versions of Twilight Sparkle and her friends live. The fourth one was actually going to be a bit different, where the kaiju characters existed in Equestria, but there was no such thing as alicorns. The kaijus were the only supreme dominant species, and the ponies, Pegasus, and unicorns worshipped the kaijus as gods, until a great evil came and nearly eradicated all the ponies and forced the remaining kaijus to go in hibernation. The last one is going to be basically where the MLP characters end up in the Godzilla universe, and they have kaiju forms, but they did not have all of their abilities. Like, for example, Discord. He will not have all of his chaotic magic because in the Godzilla universe, first, he was granted with different abilities that he and the others will be forced to try to get used to, basically. So, yeah. Moving on. What do you think about Goji Center's videos, and do you like all of his videos or some of them? I am aware about Goji Center, and I like some of his videos. I'm not going to explain all of the videos, but basically, I guess I could go with the top 5 ones that I like the most, which was Ghidorah is Still Alive and Here's Proof, Godzilla versus the Kaiju dudes versus the MonsterVerse Kaiju versus the Pacific Rim Jaegers, Godzilla versus the Rumbling, the Godzilla Genus, and the Evolution of Godzilla, which was a very recent video they uploaded, like, I think a month ago, which basically went over the new Empire design and all that stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot. I guess I can make one more exception. Basically what Godzilla looks like in the Star Wars universe, the Game of Thrones universe, and the Lord of the Rings universe. Those were my personal favorite episodes of Goji Center. Anyways, as for all the others, I was not a fan of them. Just no. Especially Godzilla. Do Godzilla and Kong have, you know which episode I'm referring to. It's basically the episode where Goji Center basically says Godzilla is asexual. I hate that episode because Goji Center flat out said that Godzilla is asexual. Not just the MonsterVerse Godzilla, but every incarnation of Godzilla, because they happen to have a baby Godzilla. What? Like, literally, dude, seriously, do you not, like, hold on, right here. See? Look at that. It says, oh wait, hold on. Okay, this is Manila, and it says, he is the adopted son of Godzilla. See? Look at that. Adoptive son. Or adopted father. See? That and Goji Center made a stupid comparison about Godzilla being asexual because of the Scorpius Rex. Really? You're comparing a giant radioactive monster and saying that he's asexual because of a dinosaur that basically reproduced by itself. Really? Like, the thing that frustrates me the most is that Goji Center says that he knows a lot about kaiju, yet he doesn't seem to look up if Godzilla Jr. here is in fact Godzilla's biological son. That if there was an egg of both Godzilla Jr. and Manila, that means only one thing. There was 2 other Godzillas that basically had those 2, but something happened to them. Either they got lost or they got killed, which resulted in Godzilla adopting both Godzilla Jr. and Manila. So, if Godzilla in the MonsterVerse is gonna have a kid, it's not gonna be biologically related to him. Godzilla's not gonna be reproduced by himself. He's gonna adopt a baby Godzilla. So, that is, I really wanted to freaking, that is what annoyed the living hell out of me. Kong can have biological kids. it's yes. But Godzilla, that depends if Toho wants to add a female Godzilla. There have been female Godzillas that they made in the past in video games and TV shows, so there's that. So that is what annoyed the living hell out of me. And honestly, I still hate that episode, honestly. I hate it. So, yeah. I just hate that episode. Moving on. What made you ship Hiccup and Elsa? I guess it started all the way back in 2015 or 2016, I can't remember. But I saw this Hiccup and Elsa video, and at first I hated it, but now, as time went on, I actually started to like the idea of Hiccup and Elsa becoming a thing. That, and, well, looking up on the internet and seeing how popular Hiccup X Elsa is, I was like, holy shit. How is this ship that popular? Are we sure that Elsa does not exist in the How to Train Dragon universe? So, yeah. Next question. We know that other fan fictions and crossovers is what inspired you to do the stories that you do. But my question is, what inspired you to do the MLP and Godzilla crossover? Basically, I was never in interest of doing a crossover between MLP and Godzilla until I saw the bridge and seeing videos about the bridge and Q&A videos about the bridge. Basically, that's what got me to basically do my own MLP and Godzilla crossover. So, yeah. What do you think would happen if Godzilla was in the Invincible universe? I highly doubt that Invincible or any of Viltrumites or any hero or villains could beat Godzilla. Yeah, like, if you see all the videos on YouTube, you'll probably know why that Invincible will not stand a chance against Godzilla. So, yeah. What do you think about Bride and Daughter of Discord? I honestly liked the movies at first. I guess the only problems I had with Bride and Daughter of Discord was that Spike and Rarity was not a thing. Everything else was okay. I like the idea of Fluttershy and Discord actually having a romantic relationship. Although when it came to Daughter of Discord, I was like, are we sure that Fluttershy didn't cheated on Discord? Because even the episode when Fluttershy and Discord had a daughter, Discord was like, are you sure this is my kid? Because his daughter barely looked anything like him. The only thing that they had in common was the fact that they had chaotic powers. And I saw a lot of fan art of what the kid would look like if Fluttershy and Discord had a kid, and they will resemble mostly their father. So I was like, are we sure that Fluttershy didn't cheat it on Discord or something? Because I'm starting to think that she did.